doing? Well, how about we start with a air quality report from the ranch. If I was landing a plane or a helicopter here, I'd have to be landing IFR. It's so smoky. Visibility is about 1/8 of a mile. And that's not because the fire's burning close to here, it's because the fire's burning 100 miles away and the onshore winds are coming into California, so it's pushing the smoke east. And I'm up against the mountains, so the smoke comes right up to the edge of the mountains and sits right here. So I've got my German engineered water air filter going, some kind of device that pulls air in, rinses it through water, pushes it back out. I've got my commercial ozone machine going. I borrowed a personal portable air conditioner because all I have on this house is a swamp cooler, and the swamp cooler just brings the smoke into the house. I got the stove exhaust fan going. I got my diffuser going. I got everything going to protect the air. But today, we're talking about gone nuts, gone vegan. And I'm just going to give you a report. I'm not promoting veganism. But about a month ago, I think it's been pretty much a month now, almost a month, I decided after watching a documentary, the documentary was called For the Health of It, I think it's on Netflix. I'd seen a lot of documentaries like that in the past, studied a lot about, the best food for the human body, studied a lot of athletes that are vegan. They get plenty of protein. Pound for pound, the strongest animal on the planet is probably the gorilla, vegan, right? So we can either eat things that eat the grass and the vegetables and the fruits, and those things then produce protein, or we can just eat the grass and the fruits and the vegetables and get the protein directly from them. And I'm all for meat eaters. If you want to eat meat, I've eaten meat my whole life. I was raised on a cattle ranch. So I don't think meat is necessarily bad. And I went vegan partly for the humanitarian principles behind it, the environmental principles, partly for my blood pressure, and partly for my cholesterol. So I'm at the age and the health where I need to actually do something about my blood pressure and my cholesterol as opposed to hope something good happens from it. So I tried the hope strategy for about 40 years. That didn't work. And so I'm trying a couple other strategies. And I'm happy to report that my blood pressure is down. And you would think actually breathing all this smoke that my blood pressure would be up. But it's down. I wouldn't say it's down to the point where I shouldn't be on meds, but hey, it's going down. Give it another couple of months and we'll see, right? So, what do I eat as a vegan? Well, it's kind of interesting, if you haven't done it, go to a restaurant. Not that most of you are going to many restaurants, but if you go to a restaurant, or just look a restaurant's menu up on the internet and see what your choices are if you're vegan. And I'm not like a fanatical vegan, right? I don't like do a chemical analysis of something to see if there's egg whites in it or, butter in it. I don't care. But if you just look at a menu and say, okay, what doesn't have meat in it? What doesn't have dairy in it? Basically, vegans are no meat, no fish, no dairy. No eggs, no butter, no milk, No cheese. That's a tough one. I have to admit, I've had a little Parmesan cheese. But no cheese, no sour cream, no yogurt, unless it's a nut yogurt, right? None of that stuff. And I quit drinking milk a million years ago, so that doesn't bother me. But cheese, that's a tough one to get rid of, right? So I'm curious about any of you that have vegan experiences or vegan resources. I'm not looking for posts about your products or your opportunity, but if you have like a great documentary or a great coach for veganism and you want to drop a link in, I'm always interested in studying those people. So back to what do I eat? Well, let's see. A vegan protein shake in the morning. And, you know, I'm cognizant of intermittent fasting. But I can't say I'm motivated to do it yet. I don't get rid of the rest of this weight, I'll get motivated to do it. But as a lifestyle, I'm going to have to grow into that one, right? Because I kind of like eating in the morning. Not right when I get up, but within a couple hours. And if I'm going to be a true intermittent faster, I got to go from 6 p.m. to, you know, 11 or 12 in the morning. And I know that works. I'm not sure if it's good for you or not, but hey, getting rid of weight's good for you, so what's the lesser evil? So vegan, pea protein, chia seed, hemp protein in the morning with maybe some fresh blueberries, lots and lots of chia seed, like 2 heaping tablespoons of chia seeds, chlorella, spirulina, charcoal, what else I got in there? Coconut milk, if we have any, but I don't have any here at the ranch, which is really good for smoothies and shakes. And then like at least a half an avocado. Like if you like your shakes really smooth and thick, throw a half an avocado in there and a bunch of chia seeds and you'll get that effect. So then what I've been experimenting with, which is working great, like I'm just amazed, is all the different Beyond Meats, which are bean-based meats mostly, you know, bean or grain-based meats. So I've got, you know, hamburger patties and breakfast sausage and just all kinds of it. And it's just amazing the technology. 5 years ago, I tried all of that stuff and tasted pretty much like cardboard. And today, I can't tell the difference between eating a hamburger, maybe, but not enough so that being vegan is distasteful at all. Like last night, I whipped up some sausage, some potatoes, some onion, and the sausage were bean-based, and it was fantastic, just fantastic. So I pretty much have the same thing for lunch and dinner, like something like that, some kind of a bean-based meat, maybe a little potatoes, onions, a salad. I'll show you. Maybe I can show you. Then I got all my canisters. I'll show you some of my canisters. So, pecans, papilletes, pumpkin seeds, no salt. I got pine nuts, dried avocado, papaya, figs. I got all that stuff. And so that's vegan. And why vegan? Well, first somebody says, go with, why meat? Well, hey, lots of people are keto and they're just not eating any carbs. And they're eating probably more meat than they should, but they're getting all their protein from meat and they're losing weight and it works. Is it healthy? Like, is it going to get you to 100, 120 years old, fit and fabulous? I don't know. I would tend to go more towards vegan if you want to live to be 120 and be fit and fabulous. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about how, like, a phenomenal concept for living to be 120 years old. And not that I'm an expert in it, I just read about it and I'm going to share it with you. So if you want to learn to live to be 120 years old, tune in tomorrow. But I think if you want to live a long time, you got to keep the weight down, right? You got to keep your cholesterol down, you got to keep your blood pressure down, and you got to keep your toxin load down. And toxin load is one of the most fascinating things I found about the distinction between vegan and meat. So with all the coal and petrochemical exhausts in the world, that would be, and not just in the United States, it's India, China, South America, Brazil, Africa, every nation that is burning petrochemicals, coal, oil, anything where plastics is made, all produce this exhaust from petrochemical fired plants. And a byproduct, good thing to Google, maybe Stacy will drop it in, is dioxin. So do some studying on dioxin. Dioxin is a carcinogen that is produced by any time a petrochemical is burned. And dioxin is in the air, and then it floats down into the forest, into the grasslands, into all the bushes, into all the fruits, into all the pastures that the cows are eating, into the cornfields that the pigs and chickens are eating, and into the oceans. And so if you apparently do an analysis of everything from a cow, a pig, a chicken, doesn't matter if it's organic or not, right? Because organic has to do with adding pesticides and adding antibiotics. So this isn't added, this is an environmental toxin produced by us burning coal and petrochemicals. And it's in fish, it's in shellfish, and it's everywhere. I want to study more, like, what's the difference between fish in Hawaii and fish in California? I don't know. But these dioxin is in the air, right? And so it's moving like this smoke cloud, which is settled over me, and the fire is 100 miles away. Why? The winds move dioxin, the winds move smoke. So dioxin is everywhere in the world, and it gets into the plants and the animals. But here's the interesting thing for the health of it, did a great job of explaining that for a cow, for example, or a pig or a chicken, to produce a pound of protein, it has to eat 20 times the weight, like 20 pounds of grasslands to produce 1 pound of beef protein. And you and I could eat about 1.2 pounds of grasslands ourselves, not that we want to eat grass, but alfalfa, be all right. That's not much different than algae or suncorella or any of those things, right? So we can eat 1.5 pounds of alfalfa and get the same protein as eating 1 pound of beef. Beef and chicken do have a little bit more protein by weight than vegetables do, like broccoli. But here's the thing. All the grasses, all the fruits, all the vegetables, according to, for the health of it, have like 1/20th the dioxin load as meat. So if the purpose is to get protein, and you can get the same value and the same quality of protein, which you can, I believe, from everything I studied, experts, protein value from vegetables pretty much the same as meat. And maybe you have to supplement a little bit for amino acids, but not usually. So if I can eat 1.2 pounds of alfalfa and get the same protein value as 1 pound of meat, and the meat's got 20 times the dioxin in it, that sounds to me like a really good reason to be vegan. Not to mention all the water pollution and air pollution that comes from the commercialization of processing meat in the world. Massive pollution load. So if you think about, well, how are you going to live to be 120 years old? What's going to get you? Well, COVID could get you, right? Certainly could. And getting lots of people seems pretty obvious how you get it. So if you want to not get it, maybe you stay 10 feet away from other people that you don't know, and maybe if you are around other people, you're outside. Lots of outside. No hugging or kissing, right? No shaking of hands till we get this thing whipped. That's one way to live to be 120. Another is, well, get your blood pressure and your cholesterol down so you don't have a heart attack. And that's the number one cause of death in America anyway. Number two cause of death is diabetes. How do you get diabetes? From eating fat. Lots and lots of fat. It's actually not sugar, from what I'm learning. It's fat and processed foods, and sugar does turn into fat, so sugar is not good for sure. But it's pretty easy to avoid diabetes unless it's genetic, just by your diet. And right now, the number 3 cause of death in the United States is COVID. But cancer, right? How do you avoid cancer? Well, we don't really know, right? But doesn't it make sense that if you want to avoid cancer, don't put carcinogens in your body. Don't put things in your body that have proven to cause cancer. Don't put chemicals in your body. Don't breathe fragrances that are made out of chemicals. Go natural. That'd be a way to live to be 120. And I don't know, let me have a look at the comments here and see who I've made mad. Maybe anybody mad yet? Got all these. Oh, Argentina. Santi Nico from Argentina. But yes, I mean a lot of beef in Argentina, right? Good beef. Okay. Oh, there you go, Constance. All right, doesn't look like I made anybody mad. So tomorrow, tune in because I'm going to introduce you to this wild concept I read about a couple of years ago that I'm going to start promoting in various opportunities. Fascinating concept on how to live to be 120, 130, maybe 140. Is it possible? Well, people seem to think so, and I'm going to share with you their thinking. Thank you for joining me for Daily Dose of Salt. Today is Tuesday, and if you know a meat eater, you can tag them today so they can get irritated about being a vegan. And if you know a vegan or a vegetarian, you can tag them and they'd feel probably edified about their decision. If you know a cattle rancher or a pig farmer or a chicken processor, you can tag them on this. That'd probably really invalidate them. And if you know a crop farmer, well, you can tag them on this and maybe they would see more edification and opportunity for their crops, like protein. Thanks for joining me for Daily Dose of Salt. I'll see you tomorrow.